What up, everybody? Welcome to Philly on PHLY. Philly with Jon Marks, presented by Bet Parks. Get to the Bet Parks app right now, and you can get the Eagles -7 over those Jacksonville Jaguars next Sunday. But, man, we have so much to react to, a ton of sports over the weekend. But, obviously, in the front of everybody's mind right now is the Philadelphia Eagles. I thought it was going to be a win. I predicted a win. I did not see another dominant performance by the Eagles. And this was the game that a lot of us were looking for. Remember last year when the Eagles kept winning, and we were looking for that kind of signature, hey, you guys are getting lucky. You're finding ways to win games, but I need to see more. I need a resounding win. I need a statement game. And they had that game against Miami last year. Dominant performance. The Dolphins were being talked about, their offense, and they came into Philadelphia and the Eagles dominated them. And it didn't end up leading to great things. We saw how the season collapsed. But this game right here was a complete game by the Eagles, dominating across the board. Complimentary football. Offense was dominant. The defense, outside of that first drive, was dominant. And the special teams, good coverage. Jake Elliott, 3 for 3 on field goals. This is a team that can do something. For the first time this year, I look at this Eagles team and I say, you know what? There's real upside here. You're seeing a young defense that was dominant again. So that first drive happens. They go down. It took 10-plus minutes off the clock. And I'm like, here we go again, man. Here we go again. That's the Eagles defense. 222 passing yards, 58 rushing yards, 2 turnovers, just that 1 sack. But Burrow gets rid of the ball quickly, so it didn't feel like it was one of these days where it's like, oh, they only got 1 sack. No, they had pressure. They were great. And you're not seeing it from last year. Fletcher Cox was probably, if not your best defensive player, one of your best defensive players. Brandon Graham was good in the rotation, and he still is good this year, by the way. You're noticing Brandon at 55 all the time. But you're seeing young players making a difference and really anchoring this defense. Quinyon Mitchell again yesterday. Cooper DeJean. Young studs making big plays. That 4th down play by DeJean on Jamar Chase was no one else is making that play. He's fast. He's physical. He's athletic. Nolan Smith, who I thought was a big-time bust candidate. He has sacks in 3 straight games. He's making contributions. You're noticing him all over the field. They did have him drop in the coverage yesterday against Chase, which was not a good assignment for him. That's not his fault. The Kobe Dean coming into his own, looking like even better than a starter. I have no questions about the Kobe Dean. He hasn't been able to stay healthy, but outside of that, he never flashed. I never saw much from him. You've seen him a lot this year, and he's doing more than flashing. He's coming into his own. Zach Bond yesterday all over the field again. He didn't even practice on Thursday. There was questions whether or not he was going to play with that shoulder injury. Led the team in tackles, was all over the place yesterday. But again, a young defense. Check this out. Cooper DeJean, 21. Jalen Carter, Mitchell, and Nolan Smith are 23. Jordan Davis, the Kobe Dean are 24 years old. Reed Blankenship's 25 years old. You're looking at a team that has young stud players, that there's upside. There's not downside. So when you go and you continue to play this season and you're looking at these young players now coming into their own, what are they going to look like in week 12, week 13? I mean, really, really impressive. And the job that is being done on defense by Vic Fangio has been smart. He's adjusted in game. That first drive, they couldn't get the Bengals off the field on 3rd down. You didn't see that the rest of the way. Even with Slay out, Slay had his usual injury where he left and missed some time. They're not slipping when Slay goes out. The line is very good. The linebackers are very good, and the secondary with these young players are very, very good. Dominating performance again by the defense. They're 6th in the NFL in points allowed now, and they're 9th in yards at just 301 yards a game. JP put the graphic up there. After that first drive, the Bengals were pretty much stymied the entire game. Before we get to the offense, Jake Elliott 3 for 3 in field goals. When you watch around the NFL and you see kickers that you're not confident in, or that team's not confident in, that changes the way that you do everything. It does, because you're like, well, we can't go to the kicker, so we're going to have to go for it on fourth. And we know that Nick likes to go for it on fourth. But Jake Elliott, year after year, is the most consistent. You have such confidence in him in any spot that he's going to nail that field goal. He went 3 for 3 yesterday in field goals. And by the way, they took the field goals. Shout out to Nick Sirianni for taking field goals. Let's get to the offense. Jalen Hurts' best game since, I don't know if it was the Cowboys game last year. Was it the first, I guess the first Cowboys game last year, second Cowboys game? I just remember he had a really complete effort against the Cowboys. He didn't have to throw it a lot. It was 20 times, but again, this was a fourth quarter, let me kick my feet up type game. 16 to 20, 236 yards, had that touchdown to Devontae Smith, a beautifully thrown ball, a great catch by Devontae, and then he had the 3 rushing touchdowns. So if you're a Saquon Barkley fantasy football owner, you were snake bitten yesterday because you didn't get the touchdowns. You got the yardage. He had a good day. But Jalen Hurts on the tush push, and really all of his runs wasn't overran. He wasn't leaving the pocket early in lieu of running. He was standing in the pocket. The throw to Devontae Smith, it took me back to 2022 where he navigated the pocket perfectly. He stepped up in the pocket and he made a strong and confident throw. Strong and confident.
Here for the Eagles.
That's the Jalen Hurts that you want to see. And here it is right here. And this is courtesy of PhilaUnite.com. I mean, strong throw, great catch by Devontae. But that is a strong, he throws 50 yards in the air. We talk about Jalen's arm, not having the best arm. The end of 2022, we never talked about him not having a good arm. He's not going to be confused with some of these guys that have the electric, I'm going to be picked in the top 3 because of my arm. But it's not a problem. His arm strength's not a problem. And that was a confident throw by Jalen yesterday. 4th straight game with no interceptions, 3 straight games without turnovers. He can play throwing the ball 20 times, and the defense plays great, and Saquon Barkley runs the ball well if he's not turning the ball over. Look at the difference when he doesn't turn the ball over, when he's not giving you the unforced error, where he's not holding on to the ball too long and taking that sack, and it's a strip sack. He's playing smart football like we saw Jalen play in 2022. So, and by the way, shout out to Fred Johnson. He was going up against Trey Hendrickson, who's one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. And for a backup tackle to come in, left tackle to come in and play as well as he played yesterday is shout out to Fred Johnson, shout out to Jeff Stoutland and everything that they do. They have as professional an offensive line as you're going to find in football. Maybe it's not the best year after year, but it's a top offensive line year after year. And I can't see the graphic, but I think it was it's pointing to what Johnson has done or did yesterday. So, shout out and JP. I don't need glasses for the close stuff because I'm not nearsighted, but I'm definitely farsighted. Where if I had my glass, and I do have glasses, I would have to be doing the thing where I'm looking under or over the glasses. But
John, I'm here to be your eyes, your ears, your everything, man.
Yeah, I can't see the screen. I can't. Tyler puts stuff up all the time. I'm like, yeah, bro, I can't see that.
Here, I'll read it for you. So Anthony DeBone is a great follow for any NFL fan.
Yeah, he's good.
So it pretty much talks about Fred Johnson. He only allowed just 1 pressure on 22 pass blocking snaps. That's 4.5%. His lowest pressure rate allowed this season, and this is all according to Next Gen Stats. And obviously, look, that was a big part of yesterday's storyline. Yeah. Fred Johnson going up against the Bengals again. And, dude, you didn't hear – you talked about it before the show. You didn't hear from him at all. And when you're talking about offensive line, if you don't hear from him, that's typically a good thing. But he was really good. Obviously, that was one of the things when Jordan Mailata went down is how are we going to do without him? Is Fred Johnson going to be okay on a side that he's not typically comfortable on? But he looked really good yesterday, and that was big, man.
I don't know Fred Johnson's contractual status, but the more he plays like this, the more he's going to get paid as a starter somewhere.
Yeah, especially here in Philly. Sattling you, man, it will get you paid.
It will. We've seen it. And guys go other places, and they're prepared to play. There haven't been a lot of flop offensive linemen. Like, maybe they've been overpaid a little bit, but Vaitai hasn't gotten cut or anything like that. He's been great.
Yeah, one of the best offensive lines in the NFL.
Yeah, it's amazing. No sacks, 1 quarterback hit yesterday for the Bengals. You want to win a game on the road, you want to dominate, you protect.
Yep.
And I know the Bengals don't have a great defense, but still, the Eagles, one of their Achilles heel this year has been pressures.
Yeah.
And Jalen also didn't run into any sacks.
Yeah, and that's a big part too. Like Jalen trusting his offensive line more, and that's been such a storyline early parts this year. Is like, look, we know you are dangerous with their legs. We understand that, but we also understand that we need you for the entirety of the season. So you need to stay upright. So taking those runs when you don't necessarily need to is not conducive for this offense.
He'll never stay healthy doing it.
Never. But having that trust is big with that offensive line.
Man, he played smart football yesterday. Remember the smart Jalen Hurts that didn't take unnecessary hits, that got rid of the ball when he had to, that threw the ball away, that didn't make any unnecessary throws. That's the Jalen Hurts that we've seen the last 4 weeks.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's been posed by. You got to give him credit, man. And I'll end with this, and then we'll get to some headlines coming up in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What about Nick Sirianni? Nick Sirianni with the press conference and yelling at the fans and bringing the kids up there, and everybody wants him fired, and the heat was there.
Yeah.
There was talk after the Bucs game that it's like, could he get fired? Right? Like, then the Browns come into town, and that's a close game, and you're like, if this starts to fall apart, he may get whacked. Everybody, the Eagles are 5-2.
The Eagles are 5-2.
The Eagles do they feel like they're 5-2? The way we talk about them, they don't feel like they're 5-2.
Wins like yesterday makes it feel like they're 5-2.
Good
but
point.
Some of their wins earlier on, and like these past 2 weeks, like, look, it's been great. Like, you blow out some teams that you probably should. They look good. You feel more confident. But it's just like some of the wins that we've had this year. It just feels like they were losses because of some of the decisions that were being made on the field, including
they weren't helping, that's for sure.
And then the most important stat, John, is that bald Sirianni is 3-0, sir.
You had to know it was going to work. So does he have to shave it again, or does he just let it grow? That's my question. Three weeks worth of hair growth, and he's got a good head of hair, so I'm sure it grows fast. He's Italian. So do you let it grow, or do you shave it again?
You got to keep it, man. I remember, what was it, 2008, that year, everyone decided to grow the beards, remember? And you had that ugly looking beard. Everybody was growing the playoff beards, man. Now you got to go bald, dude. Maybe everyone's got to go bald in that team as well.
Well, no, I mean, it works for Nick Sirianni. I mean, that's a hard-hitting question. Like, forget about the offense and do they need to continue to run the ball and everything else. Should Sirianni reshave the head, or do you just leave it, and then if it's a loss, you shave the head? I would probably leave it until there was a loss.
Yeah.
And then reshave the head.
I would agree. Oh, and by the way, the Italian flag got bigger on his hat, too. Did you see that, dude? We had Vinny Curry pointing that out yesterday here in the studio. I was like, wow, that flag got bigger.
Yeah, what's he trying to prove? It looks like it doubled in size to what it was. Hey, whatever works for you. He's
trying to get in good with South Philly, dude.
He sure is. So here's another tidbit that I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
From yesterday. It wasn't working with Saquon early. You could tell the Bengals were really keying, and they were saying, you're not going to beat us with Saquon Barkley. And they were doing a good job against the run. But Kellen Moore didn't stop running the ball.
No.
He kept going to it. Before, you would see, oh, that's not working. Pass. They didn't do that. And by the way, when the defense isn't allowing points, it makes it a lot easier to do that.
Yeah.
Obviously. If the Bengals have 20-some points, they're not able to have the luxury of still running Saquon Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
But Saquon got to him late. I think that final drive, he had 50-some yards because they kept feeding him. And it was like an old school throwback game where you're in the fourth quarter and you're saying, stop us.
Yeah.
And it's demoralizing to the defense. It's like, we're going to run the ball. It's going to work, and you're not going to be able to stop us, and we're going to pretty much run the game out. And they did.
Yeah.
They did on that drive. So it was like this. Yesterday, if you're looking for an encouraging sign for this team, and I've probably been more negative than is deserving this year on the Eagles, just being honest and reacting in real time to what we're seeing. But the last 3 weeks have been good, but this was against a good team on the road with a prolific quarterback, with real dynamic skill players, and they shut them down.
Dude.
Across the board, this was a dominant win.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Burrow obviously he's always going to get his, man. He's one of the better quarterbacks that we have here in this league. But One of one of the big ones is that, look, Jamar Chase is pretty much his only weapon right now. Now, some guys did step up yesterday for the Bengals. You definitely got to give the roses to Gesicki, and Burton even had that big catch.
Gesicki was their best offensive player.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
But, like, I mean, I know people are going to look at the stat lines like, oh, 9 catches for Jamar Chase, but 54 yards, it's not a lot of damage that Jamar Chase did.
You'll sign up for that every week.
Yeah, for sure. And, dude, Quinyon Mitchell, Jamie yesterday on the postgame show was raving for him. But, dude, Quinyon Mitchell is something that we never have here. We haven't had it here in the city for over 20 years. A first-round cornerback who looks like a legitimate player.
Oh, they got a guy.
They have 2 guys because Cooper DeJean as well made some big plays. And listen, thank you, Avonte Maddox, for the years that you've done. But, dude, that nickel spot has to be Cooper DeJean's because he matches up well with the slot receivers that we have in the NFL today.
You see that weasel Joe Banner on Twitter last week that was kind of downplaying Quinyon Mitchell? He was like, one football account was saying that he's already arrived and like he's a young stud star, and Banners said something like, "Oh, I talked to some personnel people in the NFL that would disagree with that," and then people reacted being like, "Why are you crapping on him? He's obviously played great, right?" And so it's like, all right, is he a young star yet? He's going to be. He's emerging. Is he their best corner? By far?
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, Slay's nice. See, like now all of a sudden Slay, being the older guy, is fine when you have the young athletic stud that can make every play and can lock down the top guy. Now Slay, when he goes out, when Slay's been out for injury, they haven't missed a beat.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this is all I need to see right here. Is this play right here by Isaiah Rodgers, who comes in for Darius Slay, and that was probably one of the biggest plays of the game. And just the IQ on that. Isaiah Rodgers knowing that C.J. Gardner-Johnson's right there and just making a smart play, creating a turnover. And that was one of the big momentum shifts there, man. The Bengals had that one, the fumble loss too. That's what really helped us out and gave us some solid field position too, man.
So on that play right there, the Eagles were only up 10.
Yeah.
And that was first down for the Bengals. Yep. And even if it's an incompletion there, they were kind of rolling. 12 and a half minutes left to go in the game. That's momentum right there. That was it. And that's what you need if you're going to be a good defense. For the most part, teams are going to give up yards and points, right? And the Eagles have done a really good job in recent weeks of not doing that. But that's a game killer right there. Then what you do with it matters. You just can't give it right back to them and let them score. But yeah, that was at like midfield, 1st and 10, 12 and a half minutes left. And, Burrow made the mistake of kind of throwing in the double coverage there. But, and CJ, we saw this from him his last year in Philly.
Yep.
Johnny on the spot with the ball, man, with interceptions and play. And they missed that last year. They didn't have that player that was able to be like, oh, let me get over there, boom, make the play. Isaiah Rodgers was out of the league last year because of the gambling stuff.
Bro.
So all of a sudden, the defensive backfield looks unbelievable.
Yeah. And the big part is you got depth, right? Darius Slay goes down. Here comes Isaiah Rodgers, and he can come in and plug and play. Avonte Maddox is not playing great. Boom, you put in the rookie Cooper DeJean. So this is something that we haven't really been able to enjoy over the past couple of years as well. Is some secondary depth all throughout, but making those big plays and like, dude, and you talked about it, like in this day and age of the NFL, like that. Those hard-nosed defenses, your steel curtains, the 85 Bears, like those things, like you really don't see anymore. But now what you got to do is, yes, you got to create those turnovers. You got to pressure the quarterback. And those are some things that, look, dude, I mean, I know we had 1 sack here for the Birds, but listen, the past couple of weeks, they've gotten
pressure.
Yeah, they've gotten some pressure. So, listen, it's one thing we knew going into the season that this defense was good. It was young. So you're going to have your growing pains. But it feels like they're slowly becoming
dominant. No, they're not missing tackles.
Yeah, that's a big part.
They're not missing tackles. Remember, I forget what game it was where they didn't wrap up on anybody. I forget how many missed tackles. And it wasn't just that week. It had been the first couple weeks of the season. They have not done that at all. On the Jamar Chase tackle by DeJean yesterday, he wrapped him up.
Perfect, dude.
That's a one-on-one right there. That's a 4th down. That's a 4th down. That
plays,
again,
man.
that's another game-changing play right there. Yeah, so the young, Anthony, we're going to hear Anthony come in here in about 10 minutes yelling and screaming because that's the kind of game it was yesterday. It's like, we're back. This team's back.
I love it. I love when he does that.
All right. We have headlines coming up here in a second. We'll go over everything that happened in the NFL and the Flyers and the Sixers from the weekend. So a lot to get to in just 1 second. But hey, listen, we got to talk about Glatt Hair Restoration by Morgenstern Medical. Established by the late Dr. Paul Glatt, now a part of Morgenstern Center under the direction of renowned plastic surgeon Dr. Ken Morgenstern. So I say all that to say that I've been a fixture over at Glatt Hair Restoration for well over 10 years now. So I know everybody over there. Hair restoration is all they do. And their hair team, you're not going to find a more experienced unit in business. You're just not. The approach is amazing. State-of-the-art location, state-of-the-art technology. Things have changed in the 12 years that I've been with Glatt Hair Restoration. There's a lot of new technology, a lot of new science that is out there. So if you've been losing your hair and you hear me talk about it, you're like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I've gotten caught in the Instagram algorithm of clicking on one of the companies that has spray this and you'll grow your hair back. And they have this guy with this big, beautiful head of hair and they're spraying and it's like, oh, look at the results. It's like, yeah, because you have your hair, right? But what about me? What about my before and after pictures? Go to my Instagram. Go to glatthairmctr.com and see my before and after pictures because they're real. And these are real results. Hair restoration. That's what I had. But I also have maintenance. I have something called a TED treatment, which I had last week or the week before. PRP and stem cell restoration. You won't believe what you can do today. The vitamin supplementation. They have a product out there that if you're a woman or a man, it can stop shedding. It can stop you losing your hair. All right, bald is now optional. If you want to improve how you look and how you feel about yourself, Glatt Hair has the right treatment for you. Regain your confidence. GLAT, glatthairmctr.com, or you can speak to the hair team right now. 610-980-4000, 610-980-4000, or glatthairmctr.com. All right, C-Jam Construction. I think this is the third week C-Jam's with us here on Philly with Jon Marks. So I've talked to the owner, Mark, a couple times now. And I said, tell me about your company, right? They're an interior remodeler specializing in bathrooms, floors, and decks, serving South Jersey and Philly suburbs. The name C-Jam, it's interesting, right? Comes from the name of their grandfather's boat. C-Jam's the first initial of the 4 kids, including his father. So it's a family business. You can see that in the name. They're a one-stop shop contractor. They handle all phases of the remodel, so you're not hiring multiple contractors for one job. And all of their jobs are backed by a 1-year labor warranty. And they also offer financing. So decks, kitchens, bathrooms, floors, whatever you're looking for. Actually, can you show them the deck, JP? So this is what they're currently working on right now. He showed me a couple different angles. This is the covered deck. I just got a regular deck, and I'm so mad because I should have gotten the covered deck. This is hooked up, got the entire bar. Look at the grill. Look at the griddle. I'm sure there's a pizza oven somewhere in there.
That is clean, John. That is clean.
Isn't that nice?
That's nice. I like that, man.
God, if you want to entertain, C-Jam Construction is for you. Right now, they're running a spooky season sale up until the 31st on CoreLogic Luxury Vinyl Plank. Prices start at $249 per square foot. That's 35% off of retail. And you're getting really, really nice thick plank. It's going to help you against scratches and scuffs. And right now, the CoreLogic that's on sale comes with a 25, a 30, or a 50-year manufacturer warranty, depending on the series that you pick. So minimum 25-year warranty. How about that? And when you call them, mention PHLY, and they'll get you started today. 856-329-2933. 856-329-2933. Bathrooms, decks, flooring. See their full selection of luxury vinyl plank flooring. Just go to cjamconstruction.com. That's the letter C, JAMconstruction.com. See everything that they have right there.
They're Jersey people. I like that.
Yes.
Shouts to South Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, you're a Jerseyite. My cousins grew up in Morristown.
Nice.
My Aunt Barbara was a Spanish teacher at Morristown High School for many, many years.
That was always interesting for me growing up in Cherry Hill.
My cousin, I can imagine that. My cousin John is he's a Spanish teacher.
Love it,
was
dude.
a soccer coach. He retired from being a high school soccer coach, but he's a Spanish teacher. So every year at Thanksgiving or one of the holidays that we'd see them, they would have an exchange student from a different Spanish-speaking country.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. Growing up, it's like, oh, he's from Ecuador, he's from Colombia, or wherever. Argentina. Yeah. My cousin John, Argentina is his soccer team.
Argentina, boludo.
Argentina. And I barely can speak any Spanish at all. Un poco, is that a little?
Un poco, un poquito. I got you, John. Listen, I got you in Spanish too. Whatever you need, John.
I need it on discs or something. I was always so bad at foreign languages. When I lived in Hawaii, I took Japanese in school.
Wow. That's awesome, dude.
So in Hawaii, it's like here, a lot of people take Spanish. Right. In Hawaii, everybody takes Japanese. And a lot of the people from the island already speak at least a moderate amount of it. It's like Spanish here. So you know a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Bad idea, man.
Hey, apparently they got good football in Japan too. We were watching the World Football Classics it was like spring last year. And like Team USA put out like a high school team, John. But Japan was rolling. They were killing everybody.
Really?
Yeah, they were pretty good.
Well,
I'm sure they're good in the trenches. Get some sumo players, you know?
Japanese is very difficult to speak. I was the class helped me get a C in the class so I could get what I needed for credit and leave. It was very difficult. I wrote from the start. I'm like, what am I doing? Teacher's like, do not drop the class. Do not drop the class. We'll get you through it. We'll get you through it.
Arigato. That's all I got for you.
And they did, brother. They got me through it. I don't remember really any of it. Hi, soy desu.
Soy desu.
Genki desu ka. Hi, soy desu. That's the only thing I remember.
I love it. That's awesome.
And shopping, the word for shopping is shopping vu.
Shopping vu.
I don't know why.
Love it.
All right. Well, I mean, let's get to some headlines here. We got so much stuff to talk about. Headlines sponsored by Glatt Hair Restoration, volatile optional. If you want to improve how you look and how you feel, Glatt Hair has the right treatment for you. Regain your confidence. Visit glatthairmctr.com or call them 610-980-4000 to get started. And you should be keeping up to date with everything in Philly sports and beyond. We're trying to make it easy for you people. PHLY Daily. It's delivered directly to your mailbox every morning.
Boom.
So, like, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to go searching around. Rich Hoffman Jr., man, he must spend hours doing this. He really does. So, PHLY Daily gets delivered to your email. Everything you need to know if you're a Philly sports fan and beyond, and it's free, totally free. Subscribe, allphly.com. All right, Sunday Night Football last night. Dallas falls to San Francisco 30-24. Cowboys led 10-6 at half, but the Niners 21 points in the third quarter. A goose egg for Dallas, so it was 21-10 after 3, and the game was pretty much over. Cowboys had scored a late touchdown. But it's a final 30-24. Cowboys now 3-4 on the season, and they're at the Falcons next week. The Falcons have been very good this season. Kirk Cousins, we'll play some of that coming up a little bit later. Kirk Cousins, but you had said this earlier, JP. The Cowboys at 3-4 feels like 1-5 or 1-6. How much is magnified when they lose? But Dak Prescott had a couple bad interceptions last night.
Yeah. It's dude. It's always a mess over there. I mean, like it starts off with beginning of the year, right? Like Derrick Henry, free agent. Finally, where does he live? Dallas, Texas.
And he wants to play for the Cowboys.
And you don't even talk to him. You don't even call him nothing. You say, you know what? We'll take Zeke back. We
can't afford him.
Dude,
they gave Zeke $3 million, by the way. Derrick Henry got $9 million guaranteed.
Dude, I need to understand. Like, we need a cap guy because I need to understand how Dallas manages the salary. Like, they have no concept of the salary cap.
I'm a cap guy. You want me to tell you? The cap's total BS. You can do whatever you want to. You just kick it into the future.
Yeah, Howie taught us that.
They were screwed with the cap because Jerry's an idiot and had Dak Prescott's cap number was $60 million before they finally had a contract extension at the beginning of the season. Same thing with CeeDee Lamb. You could have re-signed him, which they did, and made his cap number nothing, and then you could have signed whoever you wanted. But ultimately, Derrick Henry, give him a 3-year contract, you backload the cap numbers.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. Jeffrey Lurie signs everybody.
Literally.
Look at the Eagles. How many players are making money on the Eagles? God, he's such an idiot. Thank God.
No, seriously, thank God.
Thank God. So they're 3-4. They feel like, even though they feel like they're cooked, they can't run the ball. Dalvin Cook comes off the practice squad last night. Like Ezekiel Elliott is out there with 3 yards and a cloud of dust. You know, he had an 11 or 12-yard run last night. It was his longest since last year. It's almost impossible.
Dude, he's falling off hard, dude. I know he's dealt with some injuries, but jeez.
So after the game, Trayvon Diggs, a Cowboys cornerback, goes into the locker room, comes back out moments later, So I guess he looked at his social media. He saw a tweet from a reporter, and he came out. And if we have this is what happened when he came out.
Took from that? Out that whole play, that's what you took from that? You don't know football. You can't do nothing that I do. You can't go out there and do nothing. Stay in your lane, buddy. Stop playing with me, bro.
Just asking the question, Trayvon. I mean, I'm happy to have you answer the question.
Out of that whole play, that's what you took for that? That's what you got from that whole play, that's what you got from that?
I'm asking you. We can talk about it more. What were you doing there?
At the end there, he said, yeah, talk about these nuts.
Oh, dude.
So, and by the way, I'm just assuming all players go in and check their social media.
Why? But why?
So let me ask you a question.
Especially after a loss, why?
I wouldn't do it.
Right.
I don't check. Like after I was bitching about James Franklin, I didn't check my mentions on social media. I don't need to see these people out there that just want to fight with me.
Right.
I don't need to do it. So I wouldn't do it. The players do it. They do it. Slay does it. They do it. They do it at halftime. Who was it that did it at halftime?
Oh, Kenny Gainwell.
Yes, Kenny Gainwell did it at halftime. He was DMing people at halftime. So they do it. Now, you saw the play. I don't know if we can play it. You saw the play. It was on George Kittle. It was on a reception where George Kittle made it down like the 2-yard line. Trayvon Diggs wasn't on. You don't have to play it. It's okay. Trayvon Diggs wasn't on Kittle. If you watch the video, it looks like, I guess you could look at it and say he's loafing a little bit. He really wasn't. He was more or less playing the cutback in case he cut back. And then there was like 3 Cowboys that should have been able to make the play that didn't. And then he cut him off at the end and pushed him out of bounds. I don't think it was a lack of effort. I think he was just playing what he was supposed to play. So the guy, Mike Leslie from WFAA, he tweeted out saying that, what is Trayvon Diggs doing on this play? And then put the video out.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a stupid tweet by Mike Leslie of WFAA in Dallas. He's a sports anchor. I guess it's a TV station down there. Like, it was a stupid tweet, but like, you don't need to come out and do that. And I actually think Diggs is correct in what he's saying, but you don't need to come out there and do that. They were pissed they lost the game. And he goes right to his phone and sees that. And I'm sure a lot of people are tagging him because he didn't tag him in the tweet. It's one thing if you tag the player. He didn't tag him in the tweet. He just said, what is Trayvon Diggs doing here?
That came right to his attention there, man. But, dude, you just said it. Like, after a loss, you cannot go to social media. You just got to – you have to unwind. You cannot use the phone. It's just bad.
Well, you're going to find what you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to find that negative stuff, man. It's going to mess with your mentals.
All right, so we had that. An epic finish in Landover yesterday. The Commanders beat the Bears 18-15 on a last-second Hail Mary. The Bears took the lead 15-12. And I'm watching the game live, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Now we're looking at the Commanders as the team we're competing against in the NFC East. 2-point conversion TD, 25 seconds left. Bears up 15-12. So they even get the 2-point conversion. So it's like, oh, now they can only tie with a field goal, right?
Right.
So Washington moves the ball to their own 48 with 2 seconds left. Here's the call and the video. This is from the Washington Commanders radio network. It's Bram Weinstein and London Fletcher on the call. Here it is. Check this out. This is
the goal line. They bring 3. Daniels
look at him get away from the rush.
He's just going to have to let one fly. Goes to the right side. Steps away from the defenders. Gives himself some time. Now, steps up,
yards in the
fires. Heads towards the end zone. It is...
That's insane, dude.
That's pretty much what you're going to get for the rest of the trip.
That is fun there, man. And
wow.
Like obviously, look, Hail Marys, what's the percentage you actually convert on one of those plays, right? But all you got to do is just throw it up and then just hope that someone it just makes the right play.
That somebody doesn't bat it down
and
and it gets tipped.
Yeah, exactly there.
So did you see the corner?
I was just about to bring that up. Tyreek Stevenson, the clown of the weekend, dude.
That tipped it. He tipped the ball on that,
on that
touchdown.
I thought you were talking about the other corner.
Well, I think it was no.
So there's a clip that's going viral of another angle where this cornerback Tyreek Stevenson of the Bears was literally mocking Commanders fans.
He had his back to the play when they snapped it.
How do you, dude, what? How dumb are you?
He tweeted out that he was wrong and all this other stuff after the game. He was yelling at the Washington fans, taunting them. The snap happens, his back's to the ball.
In the middle of a play, dude.
So, I mean, a lot of that's luck.
Right.
And right now, the Commanders are like, they're getting those bounces.
Mm-hmm.
They really are. Jaden Daniels is great. They didn't have a touchdown until that play. They had 4 field goals on the game. And listen, I'm not complaining because Jaden Daniels is my fantasy football quarterback. So I'll take those late points all the time. So that's how it sounded on Washington radio. Here's how it sounded if you have this, JP.
Give me 2 seconds.
Quite the contrast. Could you imagine if this happened to your team? Oh, my God. That's like the biggest gut punch. I can't believe that just happened. Here's Bears
to the left, McLaren. And that's where Jaden Daniels is eyeballing. Jaden Daniels sifting back, being pressured. Jaden Daniels hemmed into the pocket, looking for blockers, looking for something. He's got plenty of time. Launches deep pass into the area of the end zone. Tipped, and it's caught by Noah Brown. He was the tip man, and this place is now gone into bedlam mode. Washington with the miracle finish. The breakup pass into the waiting arms of Noah Brown. Nobody back there.
Dude, Caleb Williams was pissed.
Yeah, that was, I mean, neither quarterback was really great. You know what I mean? Like that was a really tight, right down to the wire game. It was a good game to watch.
It really was, man.
But yeah, Caleb Williams was pissed.
I'm worried about the Commanders, dude.
Should be.
They're good.
They're good. That offense legit.
They got the vibes too, John, which you know.
They do. That
great.
First year that everything comes together and you have the young stud quarterback, they do have those vibes.
It's like RG3 in 2014 with them. Everything was going well for them.
He's only a rookie.
I know.
Threw the ball 65 yards in the air.
Don't screw it up.
Jesus, man.
It's easy to do it.
He's unbelievable.
He is, man. And he's like, the thing is that, look, he can run, right? But that arm strength that he has, and he's so accurate with that ball too. No,
and he doesn't make. I think he had a pick yesterday, but he doesn't. He makes great decisions. I'm worried about the kind of because he's a skinny dude. He'll grow into his body a little bit, but he's a skinny dude. You worry about the hits he's going to take if he's going to run the ball a lot. If you're the Commanders, and I'd be worried about that too. But he's as dynamic of a player as you'll see.
Yeah, he's got injury history.
He sure does. All right, we'll finish up with we got a lot of other NFL stuff, and we have the Sixers and the Flyers from the weekend.
Yeah, dude.
To talk about. How about that? All right, but let's get to some. Let's talk about Bet Parks for a second. I talked about it. You kidding me? With the Eagles 7-point favorites, Doug. Let me hear from Doug. Doug Peterson. The Jags were competitive yesterday in a loss, but the Jags come to town coming up this weekend or coming up next Sunday, and they are 7-point underdogs on the Bet Parks app right now. Eagles -7. You like that number? I wouldn't bet that right now. I don't know. I need to like take a deep breath and see where we are after that win last week. But yeah, all your NFL action. We have World Series tonight. Yankees are favored in the game. We'll talk about the World Series coming up here. How about the start of the first 2 games of the World Series? Freddie Freeman with a walk-off grand freaking slam. Unbelievable. You can still get in on World Series MVP odds. It's the one and only sportsbook app I would ever recommend. Bet Parks and the Bet Parks Sportsbook app, an online casino. And right now, new users download the Bet Parks online casino app and sportsbook right now. Get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. That's right. So whether your team scores or not, there's always another way to win on the Bet Parks online casino and sportsbook app. BetParks.com for details. Your casino bonus must be wagered, and you must be 21 and in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, Ohio, or Michigan. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, I talked about TrueMark on Friday. I went in and opened up a business checking account on their Trooper Road store in Audubon, and I was so impressed with the team there. You could tell close, tight-knit group. You had an overall good vibe. Like JP was just talking about the vibe of Washington. The vibe of TrueMark was real. Opened up the business checking account. It was like I had been struggling to get the right paperwork. I'm not going to go in the weeds with it, but like TrueMark really walked me through everything, helped me out. I didn't have everything I needed. They helped me get it that day. And so impressed with Donna, who just did a great job and was so friendly and explained everything to me, really everything, the type of checking account I should have. Here are my options. And then I hear from Mary Ellen afterwards who said, oh my God, I didn't know you were in here. I'm such a big fan of you. I've listened to you forever. And I'm like, well, now I'm on PHLY. And TrueMark is a big part of what we do. So if you're now maybe you're opening up a business or you're looking for a small business loan or just a regular checking account, maybe you want to get into the home buying process, right? TrueMark's financial mortgage specialist can offer you guidance on loan options and terms. Really, like you go in there with questions, they take their time to give you the answers that you need. And that's TrueMark right now. So impressed. Mary Ellen, shout out to her. Been at the Trooper Road location for 16 years. Her and Donna have worked together for almost 2 decades. So again, getting some of the personal history, and that's what you get. That's what you get. TrueMark Financial is federally insured by the NCUA and is an equal opportunity lender. For more information, visit TrueMark.com/PHLYITY. TrueMark.com/PHLYITY. All right, well, there you go. Let's get to some more headlines here. Do you have the Kirk Cousins thing from yesterday? Atlanta beats Tampa Bay. They're 5-3, and I can't figure Tampa out. I like you think they're good one week. You're not so sure about them the next week. But Kirk Cousins yesterday, 5-3. All this Michael Penix talk, we haven't heard his name in a while, have we?
Yeah, we have not heard him.
Kirk Cousins been really good.
And I guess this is why, John.
Yeah, we grind, we smack. We fight, no cap. We fight, no cap. We walk in your trap, take over your trap. We walk in your trap, take over your trap. We grind, we smack. We grind, we smack. We fight, no cap. We fight, no cap. We walk in your trap, take over your trap. We walk in your trap, take over your trap. We walk in your trap.
That's awesome. You like that.
Dude,
Did he say walk on a crack, break mother's back? I couldn't hear exactly what he was saying.
We walk in your trap, we take your trap, which is a common term used in Atlanta. So he's obviously getting acclimated with the culture down in Atlanta, but it's just funny. Like, to me, this was along the lines of let's go out and eat a W. That's what it felt like to me.
By the way, Jameis Winston with a win yesterday, dude, in Cleveland.
He's a different man than what he was.
Well, he's also better than Deshaun Watson, who sucks.
I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks who are better than Deshaun Watson before he got hurt.
He's so bad.
He's so bad.
And you know what I noticed, like, more than anything from that clip? The guys are into it, right? Like, the guys are jumping up and down. The guys are responding to him. They've had such bad quarterback play the last couple years right there.
Yes,
I don't think he's winning a playoff game or 2 playoff games. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback.
He is. It's so funny because he does get a lot of crap, right? But like he always puts up the stats, right? And he can win you a playoff game. I wouldn't put him at an elite level. He's probably like above average.
Yeah.
Solid arm strength, and obviously he's getting a little older, so his mobility's declining.
Well, I don't see Michael Penix taking his job anytime soon.
No.
That's for sure. All right, was there a bigger surprise yesterday in the NFL than the Jets losing to the Patriots? Aaron Rodgers couldn't possibly lose to the Patriots. Well, he did yesterday. Jets have lost 5 straight games. They fired their coach. They traded for Devontae Adams, 25-22 in Foxborough yesterday. They're 2-6 on the season. It's over.
Dude, I can't think of a more snake bitten franchise right now than the Jets, dude. They think they get their quarterback, right? And then they just haven't changed. They need to do an exorcism. This is beyond football.
They need to sell the team is what they need to do. if you're a Jet fan up there. Last year, remember how bad Zach Wilson was?
Yeah.
Do you know the Jets' record after 8 games last year with Zach Wilson?
It was like 3 wins?
4-4.
Wow. With
Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and everybody else that they brought in for Aaron Rodgers, they're 2-6. And it's over. Well, it's over.
Well, I talked about it. Like I hated that Salah became like the scapegoat because Joe Douglas never gets criticized for what he does. And the national media, probably up in New York, they probably kill him. But nationally, he gets no slack, or he doesn't get killed at all.
Yeah, he barely gets mentioned. I heard a national NFL reporter talk about how it's hard to blame anybody because everything starts from the top with Woody Johnson, and he's haphazardly making personnel and firing Salah and not letting his football people run the football department.
Dude, year 1, they hire Adam Gase again.
That's a bad.
Like, who the heck would have hired Adam Gase after that Miami job?
The Jets.
And then they give Le'Veon Bell that ridiculous contract, and you wonder why they're still
they're
Jets.
bad. So the Jets actually took the lead in the game. Braylon Allen, 2-yard touchdown run. So 2:57 is left. And what do the Patriots do? 12-play, 70-yard drive to win it.
Dude, that's terrible.
And May was actually out of the game. It was
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett was in there. Unbelievable. So they lose. Bills are one of the best teams in football.
Yeah.
That's a big win yesterday. Good win yesterday. They trounced Seahawks in Seattle 31-10. And everybody thought the Bills might not make the playoffs this year. They let everybody leave. Stephon Diggs, by the way, yesterday went down with a non-contact injury with his knee. I didn't see an update. I don't know if they...
I'll see if I find one.
He walked off on his own power. He's going to need an MRI. So you're going to find out probably in a couple hours whether it's a torn ligament or what's going on. Anytime there's non-contact injury, it's not good. That's for sure.
Talking about vibes, they don't feel like they have a great vibe down there in Houston. We thought that they would be running away with the AFC going into this year.
Nope.
Yeah,
no, they were fortunate to get a win yesterday. All right, let's get into a little 76ers from over the weekend.
Clap your hands.
All right, so they lost to Toronto on Friday night. They were favored in that game. So I was disappointed watching that game.
Yeah, it was bad, dude.
But they bounced back yesterday, beat a very good Pacers team, 118-114 in overtime. And this is the Tyrese Maxey game. 45 points in 48 minutes. And I'm not going to lie, I was flipping back and forth or whatever, but I didn't watch the game in its entirety like I normally would. But Tyrese Maxey, unbelievable. Caleb Martin, this is why I like this guy. 17 points and 12 boards, and he's tough. He plays good defense. He's not backing down. Really underrated signing by the 76ers. Andre Drummond, 17 rebounds, 9 points. Sixers now 1-2 on the season. Next up, the Pistons on Wednesday night at the Wells Fargo Center.
Oh, dude. We might have to go down there, man.
To heckle somebody?
Yeah, dude.
Do you have a little?
I have a little something here for you guys. So obviously, look, I want to start off by this because, look, I think, John, early on in the year, I think the people in Sixers Nation, and listen, I get it. We haven't had the best luck over the past couple of years. But, like, first we have Tyrese Maxey. And I wanted to show this because he was great yesterday. He was a big reason why you won the game. Drops 45 points, big in overtime, and it was fantastic. But, like, guys, breathe. This is why. Because look at some of our ex-players. Here's Ben Simmons getting at it with a fan in Orlando.
Why did you say it when I was there, pussy?
Dennis Schroeder comes in the house. The thing is, you can't see the kid. He's next to the other kid page now. So he gets into that's
So what does he
fan.
say? He says you suck, and then he calls him the
you're
P word.
trash. And then Ben goes, "Why didn't you say it to me when I was there?" P word.
Right.
So, and then this was yesterday, John.
We've talked a lot about Cam Thomas.
Simmons bounces it away. Simmons shovels, gets it back. Boy, Ben Simmons
He has to go to the basket on
Yeah.
Get it and go. We've talked a lot.
He did the same thing in the previous game.
Even the announcer said, "You gotta drive the ball." He's still got that mental block.
It's over.
Yes.
He's never going to be the player that we thought. He's never going to be a player.
But what's tough there, John, is that that was a good defensive play. Like, I know we're killing him on the miss there, but that was a good defensive play to get the tip. But then the problem is when he's in the offensive zone, he loses it. He's now like a AAU player.
It's over. It's over. He's never going to finish at the rim. He's afraid to take foul shots. He's never going to shoot. It's what we saw at the worst with him.
Yeah.
And now he's healthy, but it's what we saw with him before.
He's healthy with air quotes. And then this is the best one. John alluded to it.
And we talked about the Pistons.
Yes, here we go.
$26 million for Tobias Harris. Bang! Can't spell Nazi without spelling Tobias Harris. Bang! Guy hasn't hit a shot since he put on a Piston uniform. What happened? Seeing PE school teachers with bigger bags than Tobias Harris. What is this? Bang!
Can you even beat Luke Cornett on an isolation? You can't beat Luke Cornett!
Why? Sure, let's run in transition. Let's do it. Come on, Cade. Go to work, Cade. Find the open man. Oh, no, not Tobias.
No! Man, gotta love the long contested twos, bro. Gotta love them. Definitely a great shot. That's a great shot. I think I'd rather.
Dude, I think we broke him, John. I think we broke him here in Philadelphia.
By the way, the game was in Indiana yesterday, so it was even a better win that it was on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Tobias Harris so far, I'm just looking at his game logs. Ready? 6 points, 6 points, 13 points, 10 points, 8 points. On Saturday, he was 0 for 5 from 3-point. Fouled out of the game. Yep, good old Toby. Where's Bobby? Maybe you should go join Bobby somewhere.
That's probably what he needs there, man.
Unbelievable.
It's so funny because like when he left here, right? He put up some stuff on Instagram, pretty much like saying he was always about the Sixers fans not appreciating him enough.
Sure.
And it's like, dude, like how do we appreciate you when you drop 0 points in an elimination game?
He talked about how he's 3-D and there's not a lot of players around the league like him, and we don't know anything about basketball. And then Daryl Morey had his back buying cookies at the cookie place or whatever. Like, screw you, Daryl Morey. But goodbye. I got over how much money he was making because we weren't going to be able to change that. I was just hoping he could be a capable player, and he wasn't.
We couldn't get rid of that contract, man. And everyone was killing Daryl for not trading him. But it's like, who the heck wants to take on that contract of that player?
Well, here's the problem. Here's why I didn't trade him. It was an expiring contract, and the deals that were out there weren't giving expiring contracts in return. So Daryl Morey wasn't going to take a contract that went in past the season because he wanted to sign Paul George. So if you take a contract back where a guy's making $15 million this year, now he can't sign the players he wants to sign. So they use it to clear cap space. It was fine. Let's screw Tobias Harris. All right, the Flyers. How about this one? And I didn't see yesterday, but I was in on it was a wild win against the Wild on Saturday. 7-5,
dude.
How about Coots?
Dude, he needed that, man. Earlier in the year, Tortorella does the Tortorella thing, puts him on the fourth line as a winger, which is like, dude, you're doing that to your captain?
From the fourth line to a 5-point game with a hat trick.
It was awesome, man, seeing it. And the first goal, like he puts that in, he puts the rebound in past Gustafsson, and dude, you could just see he was elated. He does like the fist pump down low, and then here comes Michkov from behind, gives him the old bear hug, and it was needed. And maybe they put too much emotion into Saturday's game because on Sunday they came out a little flat, but they did fight back, which I'll give
scored 2 goals in the third. They were down 4-1.
Yeah.
Canadians kind of, I think, took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit, but like this team has been coming back. Who did they lose to the other night where they scored a couple goals late to make it even, or not to make it even?
The Caps.
To make
they came back against the Caps, but they weren't able to pull that one out.
Right.
No, I mean, like right now, John, the problem is defense. I mean, Cam York is out for at least 2 weeks. That's a loss a little bit. I mean, and the thing is like you don't have like elite defenders to begin with, so like they're solid as a unit. They were solid as a unit last year. This year they've kind of fallen apart, and you have a backup goalie problem too.
You have a goalie problem, I think. Michkov had a goal and assist against the Wild.
Yeah, dude, that shot was nice.
Oh, it's nice. 19 years old, bro.
Yeah.
He's 19 years old.
And I think the stat was, so he has 9 points. He had 9 points in his first 8 games. I didn't see yesterday, but 9 points in his first 8 games.
He didn't have a point. So it's 9-9.
But, dude, he had one more point than Eric Lindros in his first 8 games, which got me a little giddy.
He's 19 years old.
Yeah.
You don't like. I've seen a lot of prospects come up and and then it's like, oh, he's not ready. He's not really ready to play. This dude's ready to play. Oh my God. Woo. And it's exciting.
That top line is great. You got Coots with TK and Michkov.
Coots.
Let's go.
Tomorrow night in Boston against the Bruins.
Yeah.
That should be an interesting one.
Yeah.
All right, World Series Game 3 tonight. Dodgers up 2-0. Freddie Freeman, first walk-off grand slam in World Series history.
It's been good. It's been good World Series.
10th inning. It's been a great World Series. Walker Buehler gets the start tonight for the Dodgers. Clark Schmidt for the Yankees. I watch a decent amount of baseball. I've heard Clark Schmidt's name. Clark Schmidt is starting Game 3 for the Yankees in a must-win game, down 2 games to none.
Serve a little Bronx magic tonight.
Clark Schmidt. Yeah, they're favorites tonight. The Yankees are. It's been 2 really good games. I've seen a lot of Yankees fans complaining about Aaron Boone, blaming Aaron Boone for making the wrong moves in some of these games. Aaron Judge has struggled once again. So, like, you got to win your games at home. You can totally change around the series. But I thought the Yankees looked like they were kind of chugging. The Dodgers right now are chugging big time right now. So it certainly looks like the Dodgers are going to win this one.
It's all about those vibes, John. It's all about those vibes.
Got to be the vibes, man.
John, but we're closing out here, so I just want to point this out real quick.
Yes, please.
Talk about my beat, the Union, because we had it was a fun weekend in Philadelphia, but it was not fun for Union fans.
God, yeah.
Our third string goalkeeper, Holden Trent, who I had some reservations about. I liked his athleticism, but got a big blow. So he passed away on Saturday. I got the news right before post-game show with the Flyers, and I was just shocked because, like, you know, I kind of met the kid. Like, you know, it's so surreal hearing those news, and it's so heartbreaking.
25 years old. 25
years old, and we don't know, you know, much more besides him being in ICU, but it was a shocker, and the whole MLS world was, you know, recognizing the death as well, and it was just a heartbreaking, and we definitely had to point it out. And I want to just throw up thoughts and condolences to the Trent family. He was about to get engaged next year, December of Christmas. He was going to get married next Christmas of 25, and so it was a heartbreaking story. To, you know, it was a great weekend, but that one definitely put a little bit of a damper on the weekend, man.
I didn't see the cause of death.
We still don't have word of that. I don't know if we'll get that.
And I'm not going to speculate, but
Right.
we know when there's a cause of, normally when there's not a cause of death and a young person dies, it's no real explanation. It's usually one of two things. So just, I mean, you got it. Like, it guts you, man. 25 years old. I'd never heard of him before. You're obviously like a huge Union guy. I don't really pay attention, but like, I saw the same thing and I'm like, geez, 25 years old, man. Like, God. It was
definitely heartbreaking. So I definitely just wanted to just recognize it and give thoughts and condolences, because that family is definitely going through it this weekend.
Man, you're not kidding. You are not kidding.
Life is precious, John.
Yeah, it makes you appreciate life that much more, and to tell your loved ones that you love them, because you never know.
You just never know, man.
You never know. Never know.
Absolutely.
Shout out to everybody that watches live on YouTube every morning in the chat. I didn't get to check out the chatters today because I was.
Yeah, we got some good ones.
Yeah,
Flyers and 7, Spiral Out had some good stuff here today. We appreciate you. K-Red always in the chat, and it's a good time to mention, John, that right now you need to become a diehard, because we have a special going on. $48 intro offer. Guys, this pretty much breaks down to $4 a month. That's literally your coffee every morning for most people.
Not even.
So you get all this great content from our beat writers. You get access to the Discord chats, which is popping off every day. You get discounts on merch. You get a free T-shirt. So it's definitely worth it. So I just always want to point it out. We got good stuff here at Die Hard, man.
Be a diehard. That's nothing. I pay more for my ESPN Plus once bundled, but still. That's a bargain.
That is definitely a bargain, sir.
If you're listening on podcast, JP will get it up here coming up in a couple of minutes.
Yes,
so you can listen to the audio-only version of podcast at Philly with Jon Marks. Continue with the 5-star reviews, please.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate them. And
moving on up.
You can always listen or watch on YouTube as it's archived. If you're not a YouTube watcher, you don't get to catch it live. Watch it whenever you want to. We'll put out additional content from within the show that you can watch as well. And subscribe, smash the subscribe button. Shout out to the diehards right now. Appreciate you, diehards.
The best.
And social media. What's your social media, JP? We don't give your social media.
Yeah, man. So I am at Parcero, Parcero, Philly. And you guys can follow me there. Follow me on Instagram. Everything's Parcero Philly, the old YouTube channel. But I'm still the Parcero here in Philadelphia. If anyone doesn't want to know, Parcero is just homing in Colombian slang. So that's all it is.
All right. There you go. I'm at Jon Jon Marks, MARKS Media.
Love it.
That's on social media, or you can email me, johnmarksmedia@gmail.com. Say hello, as many people are finding us, and they're checking in and saying we really enjoyed the show, so we appreciate you. Flip over to Anthony.
Yes.
He's live with his Eagles reaction to yesterday.
Is it fun?
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be pretty juiced up.
I'm going to check that out myself.
Because until tomorrow at 8 a.m., everybody have a great day. We'll talk to you.
See you guys.
We all silly like the mayor.